Lofts here. I'm the owner of Dinokeng Lofts. We had our Barcelona car race today and our big money race. We flew it on the same day from the same distance from Hanover today, 724 kilos. And we got about 8 pigeons on the first drop, and the pigeons came, I think they came well for the heat. It's not a very hard race in terms of the wind, but it was very warm. Our 2023 season was the most difficult season, not so much in hard races, but we lost the most pigeons that we ever lost in 13 years that we've got the race. Our statistics over all the races was one of the best for all one Lofts races in the world. But this year we lost quite a few pigeons. In all the races together, we lost about 40, 50, 60% of the pigeons. We ended up with 450, and on our first toss, we gave that was about 4 kilometers from the loft. There was 1,060 something birds. What I can say to the winners, they got very good pigeons because the quality of the pigeons in the loft was very high, and to win a race against all those quality pigeons, you must have good pigeons. So the quality of the pigeons is good. What is interesting, some of the pigeons, our ace bird of this year, not the mother, the grandmother was also ace bird when she flew here at Dinokeng. There was 2 pigeons that both of them, they were nest pair, Klasvakis boy and Klasvakis girl. They won 2 of the races. Their father, Klasvaki, flew last year in this race. The final winner and second ace bird from Egbert O'Kelly, the grandmother of that pigeon also was the second ace bird when she flew in Dinokeng. And a few years back, Hope won the Bakkie race, this same race, and Hope's grandchildren was responsible for both our Lofts winning the team competition. And there's quite a few other pigeons. The pigeon Bullet from the Pigeon Duiwe that is currently leading the Blue Jacket at Pala Pala Africa Pro. That pigeon's mother also flew when she was a youngster. She flew here at Dinokeng. So you can see this quality pigeons, and a lot of pigeons that flew in Dinokeng. Afterwards, the children scored here as well.
Hi, my name is Egbert O'Kelly from out of Africa Loft, and this is my partner Rudy van Vieren. The end of last year, we decided to start competing in one Lofts as a partnership, and yes, we were fortunate enough to have bred the first Dinokeng winner and the second ace pigeon. The father of our Dinokeng winner was third carnival, 8th ace pigeon in 2017. And the mother was the 4th bird at Dinokeng 2 years ago, second ace pigeon. So the bloodline that we basically used is a combination of 810 Van Kluk, again back to 810 Lock Sierens lines. These 8-10 pigeons have been very successful in one loft, and this was now their 22nd win since we purchased the cock in 2012 for different fanciers. This is our own 5th one loft race that we won with this line. It's a great privilege to be a final race winner. The country's best birds compete against each other in these races. It is not easy, it's not for the faint-hearted. But what I really like about one lofts is that the playing fields are level and the wind doesn't influence a specific loft. That's the pro side of one loft. Our breeding strategy would probably be to breed into the same lines that are doing well for us. We have decided to concentrate on Dinokeng next year, so we will use the brothers and sisters of this bird as well. And yeah, try and increase our potential chances. It is not easy to compete because everyone sends their best. I think the advantages is that the fact that the competition is exactly the same under the same circumstances. There are disadvantages as well, but I think the advantages outweighs the disadvantages. This is our 3rd or 4th year now at Dinokeng. I believe it's one of the best managed one lofts in South Africa. The prize money are also very, very well distributed. My advice is to use pigeons that have done well in this loft in your breeding strategy. Seeing that our winner's mother was 4th 2 years ago in 2nd ace, and she now bred again the winner in 2nd ace. It's a trend I see in most of the lofts, is that the birds that perform well in a loft will probably, if you're lucky enough, breed you performance back into the same loft.
Hi, my name is Trotsky. I am privileged to have bred the ace pigeon at Dinokeng 2023 season. Very proud of that. It's also the 2nd time that I've bred the ace pigeon at Dinokeng. My 2023 season was, I think, very successful. I sent 8 pigeons, but I only had 4 up until the final. My 4 of the entries was tryouts that didn't work for me, and the other 4 pigeons were based on my smooth sailing line, which is the pigeon that's won the ace pigeon in 2019 for me. Out of 18 AA55, there's a blonde combinations with the Tom Locks. I think Dinokeng is one of the best races in the country. Barney is an avid fancier himself, winning the Pretoria Union points for the past 10 years. So it is a very professional loft to compete in, and I think he brings the best out of every pigeon. And it's been a very good experience for me.
Yeah, my name is Anton Skunkan. I'm from Craddock. I fly out of the name Anton Skunkan and Hobby Loft. I've been flying for the 5th year now. This is my 3rd year at Dinokeng. We did quite well, and we've been doing well with the pigeon Klaas Farkie. Klaas Farkie flew here last year. I was also here last year. He didn't win, unfortunately, but he came in well. And I then partnered up with Johan van der Walt. He's from Cape Town, and he actually bought Klaas Farkie last year on the sale. And that's where our relationship started.
Klaas Farkie's goal won the hotspot from Bloemfontein. Klaas Farkie's boy won the hotspot from Colesberg 2 weeks later. We came 6th in the team competition, and Klaas Farkie's boy was the 3rd best pigeon on the averages in the loft.
Grand totaling 160,000, which we're very proud of.
Yeah, of course.
And that'll pay next year's entry fee, but we'll be back with a bang. We know what we're going to do. We're definitely not going to go lie down. Unfortunately today, our first bird came in 40th, but I also have to tell you that all the pigeons that we entered today are already back. So we are very, very proud of what we've done. Well, my breeding strategy is obviously to take the best pigeon, which I've said before, take the best pigeon that I can in the hand and on paper, not always on paper, because Sometimes you've proven wrong on paper, but to test them. And testing them, there's no other place than testing like in a one loft. You can test them locally against your club, but you'll never ever do the same.
My thoughts on Dinokeng Lofts, it's the first time that I've participated here. And as I've told Barney, I think the pigeons were well trained, they were well conditioned, and today proves that because the pigeons didn't arrive one by one. It was a really fast race, and it was very hot today. So the impression I have of Dinokeng Lofts is that the pigeons are well looked after, they're well trained to be in a good condition to compete in any distance on the day.
Good afternoon, I'm Joe Gomez from Team Koekemoer and Joe Gomez. We're here today at Dinokeng for the Barcelona and big money race final. We managed to come 6th at Barcelona, 6th, 10th, 13th, 23rd, 38th and 39th. We sent 6 pigeons, all 6 managed to fly fairly well. We are very happy with that result, obviously, but being a little bit fast again, but nevertheless very hot, so not a bad challenge for the birds. Pedigree of the first bird is basically my old stuff. It's got Croppy, it's got Old Joe, it's got my broken keel in there. So it's a mix and match. It's both parents are babies. So all these birds here that flew, their parents are basically yearlings that have, these are their first babies. And they're basically all related to each other. It's got basically Old Joe, the old main Joe, and Jet, and a couple of other bloodlines. In the Dinokeng final, we ended up 3rd with an equal winner with a hen called Kayla, and also 2nd in the team competition. My one loft strategy is obviously, once again, as I've mentioned before, to try and send the best birds I possibly can. One lofts are a bit of luck on the day, because your bird might peak a week before, a week after. But nevertheless, if you try and send a good bird, hopefully you have a luck on the day and you're with the first birds. But very strict. I try and be as strict as possible. I don't look at pedigrees, I look at the pigeon. I look at the bird, very important. And then afterwards I will look at the perhaps the breeding of the bird to see who the parents are.
What we want to change this season, last season we had a team existed of 12 pigeons, with 4 reserve pigeons. And the team cost 60,000 rand for 12 pigeons. And that was 5,000 rand a pigeon. But the reserve pigeons was a problem, because when the first race came, some guys had more than 12 pigeons still, so they had some reserves. And they couldn't, that reserves couldn't count for the ace bird, because it was a reserve, it was not an activated bird. And some of those reserves would have ended up very, very high on the ace bird competition. So we decided now this year there won't be any reserves. You can now enter 16 pigeons for your team, and it will still cost 60,000. So if it's 16 pigeons, the cost will come down to 3,750 per pigeon. So I think that will be a change for the good. And what other thing we want to change the racing on Sundays to Fridays. Some people got a problem with racing on a Sunday, so we want to change that to a Friday in place of a Sunday. So there's only 2 things I think will change. I think the rest worked out very well for us. The quality of the birds I think will be even better this year. So I'm looking forward to the next season.